Another issue I'd like to ask you about, this transgender bathroom laws. I mean, where does that come from? How is it that the government is regulating? I mean, these politicians don't build the bathrooms. They do not clean them every night, yet they're going to determine, you know, personally, I believe that if someone they feel transgender and they want to make their restrooms transgender, they can make them transgender. And if you're a Christian person that you don't want your niece going into a ladies' restroom with a man, then you should be able to, that's up to you. I don't see that being a civil rights violation here, but I'm curious what you think.
Well, I agree with you, because you can't impose, you can't impose that kind of a situation on the majority of the population. Sort of like what you're saying is how, well, I'll just relate a story of a person who was in Disney World, and ladies' bathroom, mothers are in there with their kids, you know, changing tables, this type of thing, and a man came in. And he's just standing there watching everybody. And nobody knew what to do or say, because we're getting so convoluted and confused with this type of law and legislation.
Legality, political correctness.
And finally, it was an older woman came out of one of the stalls and looked at the guy and said, "What are you doing here?" And he turned around and walked out. But women, you have to take your kids to the bathroom now. You can't send them in a restaurant to the bathroom by themselves. I mean, our society is just going nuts.
When you say it like that, I can understand why the bathroom purpose would be for gun control. Because it would be because when your kids are involved, and that's a serious thing. And
it's very serious.
Yeah, and I think that our politicians they can only see one side of it. Okay, you want to defend transgender. Well, what about, why are we having special rights for a special class?
And a very small class.
And it's really, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, to my way of looking at it, we need to protect our children. And we don't protect our children by asking them what gender they feel like they are in the 4th grade.
Or to naively believe that we're going to outlaw bad people.
Yeah. Well, and you remember, too, that when Trump was elected, there were some people who were really irritated and adamant that when the Obama-era law, the executive order, went through to start training the military in transgender correctness, they were angry that happened. And I told them, I says, hey, just wait. You know, don't be all set at this guy. And when 3 weeks had gone by, and he'd rescinded that order and told them, no, we're not doing that.
And now our political judges have said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, so it's a fight, but it's hard to unwind all this. It is hard to unwind this, but it's crazy stuff. It is really bizarre stuff.
You know, I don't understand where sexuality has anything to do with really government, but let alone defending our country, because, you know, war is a nasty business.
Put them on the front line.
Well, look at how we just really stretched the lines of our First Amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, why should a baker have to bake a wedding cake for a couple that they don't want to bake the wedding cake for?
At what point does it become slavery?
Yeah, you know, that type of thing. And I mean, we have these cases all across the United States. And the way I look at it is, if you don't want to bake my wedding cake because of, you know, who I am, then I'll go find another baker. But to think that you have to force people to do things that are against their beliefs, I mean, it's sort of like the Little Sisters of the Poor. And thank goodness that worked out the way it did. But
that was actually shameful, that part.
We are just so pushing our Bill of Rights, our amendments, and working to violate.
We have a Bill of Rights unless you're offended, and then we'll just have to take them away.
No, there was this new thing, I think it happened in California, where now the government can come in and take your children for child abuse if they tell you they feel like they're a different gender, and the parents say, no, we're not gonna let you dress like the different gender.
I haven't heard that, but I can sure imagine it.
Yeah, and this just really shows you how far it got.
Yeah, that's a very good. You're really addressing parental rights.
Yeah.
What is the status of parental rights in our country under the laws these days?
Mm-hmm.
It seems
that
like
was Ed Pace's issue that he got nailed on out in the valley. That was one of his things. Of course, the reason is it's not a council person's that's not his job to do, but it was something he felt passionate about. And you know, and the crazy part is our society just, you'd think that everybody would see what's wrong with that. What was the video you were watching this morning on Facebook where they had 95 million views or something like that? These screaming kids because
children just being totally, I mean, you just wanted to spank the heck out of them. And it was basically, look what happens when we can't spank our children.
And no discipline.
Yeah.
no discipline.
There's no disregard.
Yeah. You know, I mean, how in the world is this country going to operate when those children are in charge?
And how is this country going to compete with other places like China,
Yeah,
Russia, or you know?
We will
Yeah.
be dog food.
Yeah, it's.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm sure a little child in China can't tell their father where to go and how to do it without getting punished. And in this country, it's child abuse if you smack them.
Right.
It seems like it's hastening the decay of the social order. I mean, there's personally, I don't want the government raising children.
No.
You know, when they can build roads and maintain them, maybe. But until then.